everyone, my name is Syeda Sabrin, and today I want to start my presentation. But before I want to share a statement that our respected faculty has shared in one of his previous lectures, and that goes like people stop conquering kingdom when they realized the real success is behind conquering the market. So in my today's presentation, we're going to see how the British people understood the importance of this statement, and using this, they shaped our entire tea culture. So just like me, I'm sure most of the Bengalis cannot start their morning without a great cup of tea. From Tonge Dokaner Adda to high society tea parties, tea is served everywhere as a part of culture. So in my today's presentation, the question that I have is, was tea always a part of our culture? And if not, how it became one? To know the answer to this question, we need to know the backstory. And the backstory starts from the Britain, where the upper class of the British acquired their custom of drinking tea from the Dutch and the Portuguese. At that time, the China had national monopoly for producing tea, which only the Dutch and the Portuguese could import from. But now, after having the first sip of tea, the British people got so into tea that now they wanted to trade directly with China. But China wasn't ready to trade with the British except for the silver bars. At that time, British lost their battle with the Americans, and they were having some financial insolvency for which they were not ready to give their silver bars away to the Chinese. So they had to come up with a new plan for getting the tea, and they started for looking cheaper sources and found India, the land they newly conquered. Now they came up with a very cunning plan, a plan of exchanging addictions. Chinese tea for Bengali opium. The British utilized the Bengal fields and forced the Bengali farmers to cultivate opium and trade illegally with Chinese. And the British flooded the Chinese market with the Bengali opium, and in return got their desired tea. But still they were not happy. Now they wanted to have the full control of the tea manufacturing process, which back then the only Chinese knew the secret of. And they didn't even let anyone from outside enter their territory. But it was until the Great Theft. In 1948, British East India Company sent a Scottish botanist, Robert Fortune, in the disguise of a Chinese merchant. He stayed in China for a very long time, and when he came back to India, he brought back tea seeds, tea leaf, knowledge of manufacturing, and guess what? 80 Chinese tea specialists. Now, with all of this knowledge and resources, British East India Company was finally successful to produce tea in India. Now, in the beginning, the tea that was produced in India was solely for the exporting purpose that went through the port of Kolkata, where a very small native population, especially the English-speaking Bhadralok and the office babus, got the opportunity to taste this foreign beverage. So we can say that Bengalis were the first Indians who had the opportunity to taste tea. And even back then, the British people didn't consider India as a tea market. But after the ripple effect of depression and opening of the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway, for the first time the British started considering India as a tea market. It then created the Indian Tea Market Expansion Board and provided with an expanded budget. Even today, it is one of the largest marketing campaign in Indian history. So in my today's presentation, we're only going to focus on the marketing part that was done in the Bengal. And if there's any marketing major, I'll highly suggest them to start taking notes from now on, because these are the marketing campaigns that have shaped our today's tea habits and the tea culture. So it is very interesting. So the marketing campaign started with the free distribution of teas, and there were hundreds of tea vans dispatched every day that served millions of free cups of teas to local people. The strategy behind this plan was, if one tasted tea for once, they'll come back again to have some more, which means they'll come again and buy some tea packets even more. And the tea companies also started their educational propaganda. They started to design posters in Bengali, specifically in Bengali by famous illustrators like Satyajit Ray, which showed how to make tea. And they then placed these posters into public spaces like railway stations, hat bazaars. They even dropped down these posters from door to door so that people inside the Porda can even know the process. So just think about it. with the free teas, people knew how the drink tasted, which is definitely magical. And now, with the educational posters, people also knew how to make tea. So it was a very amazing tactic by the British back then to capture the whole Bengali market. So that is very appreciative. They also didn't stop there. They started to advertise tea as a healthy drink. They advertised the ads in such a way that if a Bengali especially, drinks tea, they will become like the British, which means more alert, more punctual, more energetic. So taking tea in the morning became a ritual. Also, the factory owners were forced to give their factory workers tea breaks to fight fatigue. The tea also worked as a medium of awakening women. As we know, a progressive, smart, and modern homemaker knows the importance of nutrition, and they serves her family a great cup of tea. Also, we know how we Bengalis are famous for our hospitality. So the tea ads were shaped in such a way that it showed how it was so essential to serve your guests with tea. And guess what? We still today practice this ritual that was actually imposed by the British. Now, tea also worked as a medium of uniting the nations, as Atos Sons Company says, "Bhinno jatir bhinno mot, toser chai shokole ek." Also, for example, this ad shows how 10 different peoples stay in a joint family and hold 10 different points of views, but still they come together over a cup of tea. Now, through ad campaigns like this and gradual decrease in price of tea became a very integrated part of the Bengali culture. That it started appearing on regional movies like Chawapa. Also, it became a very central part of our very favorite gossip culture or adda culture, more specifically. Now, in the conclusion, we can say that I actually want to recall the introductory statement again, as it has beautifully shown how proper marketing shaped the whole tea market of Bengal. Now we can see how British have gone away, but still we're enjoying our very foreign drink, which is now has become our national favorite drink. That we cannot even imagine the existence of Bangladesh without a good cup of tea. So this was from me. Thank you so much.